Just a quick plug before we start the video, people. If you are a fan of strategy games at all, and you have the PC that can run it, I would definitely recommend checking out Total War Shogun 2. It's currently on sale for the low price of $7.50 on Steam, part of their midweek madness thing going on. You know Steam and their deals, and I gotta say, I'm freaking loving it. I picked it up a couple months ago, and I'm now getting really invested into it. The expansion pack Fall of the Samurai is just on the horizon in a couple of days. Now, I wasn't paid to do this intro thing. This isn't a product placement from Sega. I just really want to show some love to Creative Assembly because I think they did a fantastic job with the game. And if you like that, then maybe you might enjoy it. So roll the video. Hey guys, what's going on? NG is back again for another video. I know the video flow has been pretty slow for the past couple of days. I just wanted to make the most out of my spring break. I've been watching a lot of Blu-rays that I need to catch up on, TV series on Netflix, and of course, playing as many games as I can on Steam. Deus Ex Human Revolution, Hitman, Blood Money, and of course the awesome Left 4 Dead 2. I was playing with the J Brigade, Blackbuster Critic, you know, having a good old time on that. But the main game in particular that I invested the majority of the free time I had was this bad boy right here, Tales of Grace's F. You guys know I've been waiting for this. Oh, damn. Yeah, it got darker. It was focusing on the awesomeness of this Tales. You guys know I've been waiting for this game for quite a long time, and Namco Bandai, well just Namco, finally decided to localize it about damn time, and I just gotta say that I'm loving it. It has been quite a while since we've seen a Tales game on the consoles. I believe the last one was Tales of Vesperia on the Xbox 360, so it's been almost 4 years. And being a Tales fan, that really just killed me on the inside. How are you gonna go 4 freaking years without a Tales game on the consoles? You know, Japan, they love it, but over here, no love for it. So Namco Bandai, get on the ball and release more Tales games. And you know what? For the fans of it, buy it. You probably have, but you know what? We gotta support the games. We gotta show Namco Bandai that these games can sell, and hopefully they'll bring more over, like Zulia. Yeah, that's really all I gotta say. So, as you guys know, a couple of videos ago, I was talking a lot about ignorance and how it pertained to gaming. The example I used would be Kingdom Hearts, how people judge it solely based off face value and not giving it a chance. I was really happy to see a lot of the comments and the video responses I've seen, you know, really thought out. People were discussing their situation with it, how it's affected them, and I was glad that a lot of people got involved and chimed in on the things, how it affected them. So hopefully we can do the same for this video where we move it over to the anime scene. And for those wondering, why am I talking about something that is so obvious that of course there are going to be ignorant people out there? Well, if you know me and you know the videos that I do, I like to rant about anything that comes to my mind. I've been doing YouTube for a couple of years now, so this should be pretty self-explanatory that I would rant on something at some point or another. But anyway, I've rambled on long enough. The Anime Rants Episode 3, Ignorance in Anime, Part 1. Anime is made only for kids and will only ever be enjoyed by kids. Just let that sink in for a bit. You've probably seen a comment on a video, AMV, episode, review, whatever, where you have that one hater in the room who says that, oh, why do you people like this kiddie stuff? I thought you should grow out of it by this time. Yeah. These people like to lump shows like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, One Piece are really the more popular videos that people do into the same category as like Dora the Explorer, you know, all those type of shows, the kids' childhood block. Yeah, isn't that good? Isn't that great? Now, what these people have to understand, however, they have to understand 3 things. Number 1, the shonen demographic. Number 2, the differences between the East and the West culture. And number 3, what is a show made only for kids and will be enjoyed by kids, and something that is made with kids in mind, but has a broader appeal. Let's start out with the shonen demographic. I'm pretty sure you all know what the shonen demographic is. For those of you who don't, the shonen demographic is essentially, it's a young boys sort of youth thing where they want children to get into it from the ages of 6 to 14, and those shows such as Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z, they have a lot of things that we as young kids really do like. You know, these people with superpowers who can do all these crazy things, a really likable protagonist, you know, who has a lot of great humor, they have a big appetite, which is what I've noticed a lot with a lot of the shonen characters, particularly males, they can sure put food away. And the majority of the time, the themes they have in the stories, like believe in yourself, never give up, yada 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 yada, they all exist in the majority of the shonen shows. And yeah, that's particularly what the shonen demographic is. And people like to say that, oh, it's made only for kids because it's shonen. But no, that's not true, because then you come into the topic of the differences between the East and the West culture. Particularly Japan, Western parts of Europe, and North America. You see, in Japan, the reason why the stuff we see in these shows, such as Naruto and One Piece, like, you know, violence, you see some blood sometimes, people punching each other, you see quite a bit of risque humor, certain dialogue, and of course colorful language, and some scenes of ecchi. That was a really run-on sentence. The reason that they could do those sort of things is because the shonen demographic is just so broad when compared to ours over here, as compared to over here where it's really segregated. You have shows that are based only on a certain age group. It's really happened like this decade in particular. Well, last decade, because now we're in a new one, you know, where people would be making shows that appeal only to a certain group. No longer are they making shows for everybody. Whereas in Japan, that demographic is so much more broader, which is why they can get away with the things that they can do. In recent years, however, Japan has started to crack down more on censorship, and the same could be said for America. You know, kids are now getting exposed to a lot more mature things at a younger age as opposed to the things you would see in anime, but I blame that mostly on stuff like MTV and all that shit that's going on in the air. But anyway, I digress, that's something else. Yeah. When you try to translate a show like that over here, it doesn't really work, because take Naruto for example. Naruto is not really a mature show at all. It fits somewhere between 11 and 13, so let's just say 12, you know. So you're a distributor, right? You want to know who you're going to try to sell this show to. You can't sell it to Adult Swim because that show really doesn't fit the criteria of something that would be on Adult Swim. You know, it's not too mature. And they're pretty picky assholes on what they license. If they could, they would get rid of all the anime programming. But they can't, because anime is popular and it brings in views. They're just so goddamn jealous that on a regular basis, anime does better than their in-house programming. I'm not talking about stuff like Family Guy or Boondocks, you know, or Futurama or syndicated stuff. I'm talking about their in-house shows. Outside of Aqua Teen and Robot Chicken, their shows are crap. And that's just the truth. This isn't just me being biased because they don't put anime on the air. Like, I could care less. I have my collection. I have Netflix. I don't need to see anime on TV. They're just mad. But you can't really sell it towards the kids demographic because there are certain themes that don't work. So what do? You try to sell it to the kids demographic because that way you're going to earn more revenue in the end. You know, it's just that way it's easier for them to become popular, because let's be honest, those shows appeal more towards kids than they would adults. I mean, that's just the fact of life. You know, if it's targeted towards kids, then more of them are going to buy it because they'll watch it whenever it comes on TV. Their parents will buy them, you know, any merchandise that is associated with it. It's something common that really shouldn't be talked about. But yeah, that's why when shows like One Piece and Naruto come over here, they have extreme edits. Well, not too extreme in Naruto's case, because they want to try to fit it into that sort of show. They want to be able to put it at the same time as something like Ben 10. So, now that we've covered that, let's talk about the third point, which is the differences between a show that is made for kids and will only be enjoyed by kids, and a show that is made with kids in mind, targeted towards kids, but is enjoyed by a broader audience. Just show you guys one example, and that is Toy Story 3 on Blu-ray. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that it's on Blu-ray, even though it's awesome looking on Blu-ray. Toy Story 3 is made by Pixar. And if you guys know anything about Pixar, you would know that their entire catalog of movies have a kid-friendly, like, outer tone. You look at this and you're like, oh wow, this looks like it'd be something that'd be enjoyed by kids. However, you go in and watch it and you're like, man, that movie kicked ass. Because Pixar, they fit this down to a T. They make movies that are targeted towards kids, but they're enjoyed by everybody. That's why when you see people do reviews for Pixar films, they rarely ever say that only kids would enjoy this. It's a great film for everybody, not just for families, but for everybody. Movies like the Toy Story series, Bugs Life, Monsters Inc., Up, Ratatouille, Finding Nemo. Speaking of which, Disney, hurry the hell up and put Finding Nemo on Blu-ray. You know, those type of films, especially The Incredibles, they're just made with everybody in mind. That is where those type of programming, the shonen stuff that people were talking about, fits in. Because they are made with everybody in mind. Though it does have a kid-friendly outer tone, yeah, people can enjoy them even though they don't have to do with kids. And in Japan, like I said, they're exposed to a lot more mature things. So what looks like something that would be more mature over there and would only be enjoyed by people 14 and up can be enjoyed by people who are 10 over there. And to add the icing on the cake, if these shows that you were talking about would appeal only to kids and be enjoyed by kids, wouldn't the majority of people wise up after a certain age and stop watching it? They realize that, wow, what the fuck am I even watching? It all happens to all of us. We watch those kind of shows, and then after a couple of years, we just stop watching them. Not because of their programming content, just because, you know, they're not appealing to us anymore. Wouldn't that happen for a show like Naruto? But no, you still have people who are talking about it nowadays, doing video reviews, chapter reviews, talking about just everything about it. Same thing for Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, and Bleach. Because there's something in there. There's the richness, there's the substance that people can get into. You are able to introduce this show to people who aren't of that age group, like 13 years old. You can introduce them to people who are like 20 years old. So you see what I'm saying? It's something that is made with everybody in mind. I don't get why people like to think that cartoons should be made only for kids. Cartoons and anime, what are they at the end of the day? They are animation. What is animation? It's a form of entertainment. And as you know, entertainment can have different audiences. You can make something that would be made only for kids. You can make something that would be made with everybody, for adults, etc., etc., etc. You get what I'm saying? Same thing applies for movies, music, TV shows, books. Yeah, it's all starting to click, isn't it? It all starts to click. And since they do have their own audiences, there are anime in Japan that are made only for kids. Most of those don't come over here though, because I don't think they just want to spend the money to license it. Because, let's be honest, we already have enough of those shows on cable right now. And you know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that are made for like 5-year-olds, 3-year-olds, yeah. Those shows. We might have gotten a couple of them, but I'm not entirely sure because I can't really say on it. But I know that they exist in Japan, so the point still stands. It's entertainment at the end of the day. You can have different audiences for it. One form of entertainment is not primarily targeted at one age group. And that's why people can still enjoy shows like Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Digimon, etc., etc., etc. Because they got that richness and the substance in there. They really do like the story. They really like the characters, the development. Well, when there's good development going on, they really like that stuff. And the same thing can apply for cartoons. You've got those great cartoons that can tell great stories like Transformers and Ben 10 pre all these spin-offs. You know, Young Justice, all them great shows. The Batman series, all that good stuff. So, yeah. So that's really all I want to talk about in this video, my friends. Comment it up, video responses. I'd love to see what you guys think about this. And join me in part 2 where we discuss the long, heated debate. Anime versus cartoons. Which reigns supreme? I'll see you there.